All right, what's going on, guys? We're live. Give me just a second. I've almost got this dialed down exactly how I want it to go as far as mics and cameras and stuff. I'm just going to make sure that I'm broadcasting on the right page. And again, I'm doing all this by myself, so I don't have an assistant to kind of dial it in, but we'll get there. We'll get better. We'll see how it goes. I think we're live. This says live. This says loading. So I'm just going to give it a second to get happy about life. So while it's thinking about that, if you can hear me, go ahead and jump over into the chat. If you're on my page at courses.derekmitchell.com/live, there should be a YouTube chat right beside it. And then down below, there's a Facebook chat, depending on whatever you want to chat in. So I'll be checking that for questions at the end of the broadcast. So definitely jump in. And if you've got questions, let me know. Hit that up. Hopefully you guys had a moment to check out that new logo design case study that I published. And if not, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But if you did and you've got questions, again, post them in the comments. We'll be checking those out here shortly. And we're just about ready to dive in here. I'm just checking a couple more things. Cool. All right. Fun stuff. How you guys doing? I hope you're having a good weekend. It's just the beginning of it here. Saturday morning as I record this. I'm just checking a couple more things and then we will be off and running. Ooh, one more thing I got to do. All right, so I'm going to record this with my screen recording software just in case it crashes like it did last time. Then I won't miss anything. We'll have everything ready to go here. So, and my mouse connection lost. This is going to be a good live, guys. I'm really excited about it. My mouse comes back. There it is. All right. So awesome. All right. We are rolling. I'm going to move this over here. And we are going to dive in. So today, got some fun stuff I want to talk to you about. As soon as this works, you can. There we go. We are live. Yup. Boom. Okay. So for today, I want to talk a little bit about all kinds of stuff. Specifically, so the overview for this month is I want to talk about 5 ways to improve your employability. So in the last month's call, I had a top 5 list, and I kind of like following that. So I just wanted to find 5 different ways that we can help improve your employability. A lot of you have come through my courses, or you've taken some graphic design, and you know Photoshop, you know Illustrator, and that's great as a hobby, but how do you take that one step further and actually do something with that? So we're going to talk about that in this live broadcast. I'm also going to talk about a logo design case study that I just recorded last week, and I dropped it into your membership area. Actually, I added a new product in there. Again, we'll talk about that in a little bit. I have an announcement for you. I have a special announcement for you and a special announcement for you coming up. So really excited about that, and I can't wait to tell you what that is at the end of the show. So let's go ahead and dive right in. All right. So 5 ways to improve your employability. So the very first way is you got to start somewhere, guys. So I know this is a given, but I think a lot of times, and there were some posts in the Facebook group, special shout out to, is it Salim or Salem? I'm not quite sure, but he had posted about, he's been doing this for about 3 years now and just kind of scared to get going. And so I would just encourage you, just dive in. You just got to start somewhere. So the best way, and again, pointing back to that logo case study, not to give any spoiler alerts, but Dr. Greg, he talks about how, you just got to do reps. You just got to continue to practice. And by reps, he means repetitions. And you're not going to get good until you just continue to do it. Much like these live broadcasts. Currently, I would say I'm kind of like, okay. I mean, if this is even live right now, I feel like I'm doing pretty good, right? But by doing this more and more, I'll get better at it and better at it and better at it. And just like that with you guys, the more you do stuff, the better you'll get. So don't hold off and wait till you're like some amazing designer. Just dive in and start. And that's going to improve your employability as well, because you'll have lots of experience. And by having experience, when you go to look at any resume or any job applications and job descriptions, they want usually a couple years of experience. So if you started right now today making anything, guess what? That's experience. You can count it as experience. So you just got to dive in and start somewhere. Now, the next thing that I would recommend is an internship. So I'm going to probably rattle on this one for a minute here. So let me just see if I can switch back to my screen so you can see my pretty bald head here as I talk about stuff. Boom. All right. So, and actually I'm going to check in on comments too while I'm here. What's up, Gabriella? good morning or good afternoon for you. Thanks for joining. Gabrielle is our TA. She's amazing. We love her. All right. So talking about I was going to talk about the internship. Let me jump back over here and do a couple things over here on my screen. All right. So with your internships, you guys can do an internship. So what I mean by that is find somebody who will let you basically tag along and just glean as much information from them as possible. So let me share with you what my internship was like. And also, I see that my stream quality is going up and down. I got my kids upstairs watching Netflix with my wife, trying to keep them all quiet and upstairs. So if it drops out, in theory, I've got this recording as well. So I'll put it in your members area as a replay. Again, back to that doing repetitions. I'm learning how to do this better. So these broadcasts are better. So bear with me for right now. But anyway, what I was going to say is the internship. So I'm going to share a quick story as far as how I got my internship, and maybe that'll be helpful for you to kind of get the wheels rolling on what you could do. So I was in college and I had to have an internship. It was part of my grade. It was part of getting the credit for it. So some of you might not be in college or in school, or even some of you might be years out into your profession. I know some of my students here, this is a whole new career change for you, and you're, in your late 30s, late 40s, and this is kind of a brand new thing. So you're not really in college, but you're looking at how do you get that experience. And so what I would say is that, well, again, let me just tell my story, and then I'll give you some tips and advice. So what I did, I had to do it. So my first internship was with a place called Pierpoint Media, and I learned about it from a friend of mine. They went to church together, and he was like, "Hey, you should check out Pierpoint. He does some really cool stuff." And he was a lot like me. He had his own little studio, his own little office, and he had like one or two people working for him. So it wasn't like a big, scary. I don't know if scare is the right word, but it wasn't like a big corporation with like 50 to 100 people, right? It was just a small little boutique shop. So my internship literally consisted of, and I didn't get paid for it, I just got credit for it. So to get credit, I had to go to the college office, and there's some paperwork that he had to sign and I had to sign, and it basically laid out the path that was like, I will do so many hours during this semester and I will get 3 credits or whatever it was. So I took my paperwork, he signed it, and then I just basically showed up whenever I wanted to. It was really casual, and they had a couple desks actually, when I was there, they ended up moving offices halfway through my internship. So for the first chunk of it, basically what I did, the designer, you're seeing me at my desk. So the lead designer was sitting there working on stuff, and I was in a chair right here, just hovering over his shoulder and just watching everything he did. And it was amazing to me. Well, the most amazing things that I saw twofold were how much he used shortcuts on his keyboard. So his fingers were constantly dancing on the keys basically, and stuff was flying on the screens, and it was mind blowing that you could work through stuff so quickly. So even 5 minutes of watching that was worth the rest of my internship, honestly. And then to be able to watch what he was doing there and then see it on the screen and his workflow and how he how he just his thought process and how he went through things was amazing. And then of course there was other fun things, like they had, clients that they had would have parties. And so you get to go hang out and meet other business owners and just kind of rub shoulders with people who were entrepreneurs and doing things. And so that really opened my eyes to more than just getting a job. Right. And so honestly, it was so long ago. I don't remember specific details on how much that was there or whatever, but so while I was there at that internship, speaking of parties, they had a party, an open house, because they moved offices and they had a brand new space built out. It was awesome. It was super cool. And so there was a bunch of his clients that came and showed up, and some other people. And one of the people that came was, and at the time, I think he worked with them as basically as a freelancer, as a subcontractor, basically taking on excess work for another design agency. They were more like an ad agency that did online interactive media. And so we were at this party, and he goes, "Hey, do you know who that is?" I was like, "No." And he's like, "Hey, well, that's so-and-so. Why don't you go meet him?" And I went and introduced myself. No, actually, I didn't. Sorry, it's been forever ago. I'm going to butcher the story. He pointed him out to me across the room, and I didn't catch up with him before the end of the night. So, but I knew who he was. I knew where he worked and everything like that. So I don't remember timing wise, maybe a couple weeks later or whatever, I wanted to get into another internship for college. I could do another one. And so I just drove downtown. It was about half hour to 45 minutes from where I went to college, drove downtown Spokane, And I drove around the block, and you know, those of you living in a big city, you know that parking is usually a premium on the streets, right? So usually you have to pay to park, and usually can't find anything, and it's a big hassle. Well, there's a parking spot right in the front door where I went. So I was like, okay, this is cool, right? So I pull in there, and I'm all nervous. I have my, let me think about this. I think I had with me an envelope with my resume in it, and maybe, oh man, I'm trying to remember if I had my briefcase or not. I had this really dorky briefcase portfolio thing I made. I hope I didn't bring it for my, I don't think I brought it with me because now looking back, it was so dumb, but you got to start somewhere, right? So I grabbed this briefcase. No, I didn't. I grabbed this. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm all over the place. I'm making sure we're still streaming. I'm trying to remember the story since I'm looking anyway. Let me just double check. I don't know. I think we're going. It seems to be working. Maybe not. It might not be working. Well, that's a bummer, but we'll post the replay. So, I can't tell if it's going or not, guys. So, painful silence, awkward. Speaking of doing reps and learning how to be better, this is me learning how to be better. It looks like it's going. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just going to keep going with the story. So, I parked my car at the front of the building and work up the nerves to go inside and actually, you know, say hi. And I've never been there before, so I didn't know where they were at. And I went in, and it was a big downtown building. So there's lots of offices and stuff, and staring at the directory, and finally figured out where they were at. So I jump on the elevator, and I go up, and the doors open. And as they open, I see the guy walk across in front of me, the same guy that they pointed out to me at the party. And like, he's the guy, he's the owner of this big agency, right? So and I'm like, hey, and he's walking by with him and maybe one or two other people. And I'm like, you're so-and-so. And he looks at me like, yeah, who's asking? How do you know? I was like, hi, my name's Derek Mitchell. And, you know, made the connection, whatever. And said, you know, I saw you at this party we were at, and I'm a student at Whitworth University, and I wanted to introduce myself, and honestly hoping that maybe I could get an internship here, and just curious if you guys had any availability for that. So he's like, yeah, man, awesome. Just give me a second. I got to run the mail out, because he was actually running the mail out. So he's like, here, just, he's like, actually, hang on. Let me, here, I can do that later. Let's just go in here. So I basically had an impromptu meeting like right away with him and the creative director and their senior designer. Pulled me right in, and we just met right there on the spot. And he's like, this is so cool. We were literally just talking about this morning, how we wanted to find an intern and, you know, whatever. And so I pulled out my resume, handed it to him, and it was, I wish I had it pulled up. I should have prepared. Anyway, so I showed him my resume, and he's like, yeah, this is really cool. And so he wasn't ready at that time yet to do the internship. So it was one of those things where it got things in motion, though. Excuse me. Man, I'm dying here. So it was just really cool to see like the perfect timing of everything. And now if you guys go out to get an internship, it obviously might not be that easy of a story. It might be some challenging events, but I think more than anything that I want you to take away from that. And so I guess I should finish the story. So gave it a couple weeks, and I even told them, it doesn't have to be a paid internship, but if you wanted to pay me, the college would match some, I don't remember what it was, but like, basically, I would have done it for free, right? But I planted the seed that like you could pay me if you wanted to, right? So they ended up paying me like minimum wage to be there, which was awesome. I was getting paid to learn, sitting and working with these clients like MTV, Netflix, Nintendo. I got to play the Nintendo Wii when it first came out, before it was even on release, and we were doing a screen capture. So I was playing the Nintendo and recording it to put onto the website. Who else do we work with? Nickelodeon. There's a handful of others. It was really cool. We were doing flash animations for like skyscraper ads on the side of a website. So I got to learn a lot about that, and it was just a really awesome experience working in the agency. And I wanted to stay there. I wanted to work more at that agency. And at the time, though, I ended up when my wife and I got married, her family was back in Montana. And so we ended up moving back to Montana. And obviously at the time, working remote wasn't really an option. So that kind of fell through, but that's kind of how I cut my teeth in the whole agency side of things and learning how to work alongside and how they do, how they pass files back and forth and just all of that, how that works, how they bill for projects. And their projects were like $150,000, not just like a $5,000 website. They were like way above and beyond, anything I could have ever imagined before. So anyway, as far as the internship, like getting an internship is massive or can provide massive value for you. So I would highly, highly recommend that you take that leap and try and find somebody who will give you the experience and the opportunity to do an internship. And one way that I would approach that, think of it this way. So right now you're not competition to them. So let's say I were to go ask now for an internship with another agency. They're like, well, don't you run an agency? So that opportunity is I don't really have that anymore. I can maybe go intern with another business entrepreneur or maybe a real estate agent, or, I could find my way, let's say they're not hiring, but I'm like, dude, I'll take your garbage out. I'll do whatever. I just want to get my foot in the door. And I think having that approach, that humble approach, that hunger to learn will open so many doors for you. So when we say the word internship, it doesn't have to be accredited through a college. It could literally be like, look, I will come work for you for free for like 2 months in my off hours. I just want to learn everything I can and just check it out. And then by the end of that, if you did a good job, they'll find a place for you. If you can prove that you know what you're doing, or you get good quick and you can help solve their problems, then they'll find a way, even if you're a good person and they don't have a job open for you yet. So anyway, so that's one way to improve your employability is to get an internship. So let me kind of check in on a couple things real quick, and we'll jump back into the slideshow here. So it doesn't show that it's live on my actual courses live page. Let me just see it. I don't know. It says still waiting for me, which is, I don't know, whatever. Which is a bummer. I was really hoping it was going to be live for realsies this time, but it doesn't look like it's working here. Let me see if I can do something else real quick. Hang on, guys. I'm just going to post the link that I'm seeing from YouTube itself. And we'll see if we can do it that way. I'm going to copy this link. All right. If you guys can't see this, cool. All right. So cool. A little bit of housekeeping. All right. So let's jump back into our PowerPoint here. All right. Five ways to improve your employability. Start somewhere, an internship, and then personal projects. So, let's say you can't get an internship. Let's say you can't get a simple job somewhere, as far as starting somewhere, anywhere they'll take you. Personal projects are a great way to dive in and get experience too. You're all going to need a website. You need a portfolio, or maybe start posting on Instagram or other social media platforms, work you've done, whether it's photography or a logo you've tried to make, or even, I've seen a handful of posts from students who have taken literally a smooth sea never made a skillful sailor poster we did in Illustrator in the first boot camp. I've seen a lot of people post that on the Instagram page, which I love that. Like, I don't even care that it's the exact same way that I did it. Like, I don't feel like you're stealing my work. I just feel like you're learning and posting and getting better at that. So even if all you did was step through the process, post it. You made it. So just any kind of personal projects, whether that's something like this, like I said, as far as the homework, I don't know, it's not really homework, but the projects you've done on my courses, or just, man, anything you can get your hands on. Make yourself business cards, make yourself a logo, make yourself a website, make yourself, I don't know, a brochure or whatever. I mean, just get creative and just start, like I said, doing those reps, doing those repetitions and getting stronger in your design. Just start making stuff. So the next one is help a charity. So let's say you can't really land an internship and, personal projects. Let's say you've already done all those things, but you still need more experience and you haven't found anybody to pay you yet. Help a charity. Go find a church. Go find a shelter. Go find I don't know. Maybe you've got a brother or sister who could be a charity case. Maybe they're a band and they need a CD cover or an album cover. Go help them, right? Just basically make yourself known. And that's something, you know what? That's something I should have put on here too, is make yourself known. So there's a good chance people might not even know what you do yet. So tell literally everybody you can think of, hey, guess what, guys? I know right now I'm a dog groomer, but I can't wait to be a graphic designer and I'm going to start doing that. So I'm gonna start making logo, like tell everybody what you're interested in, tell them what you're doing, what you're working on. And that way, what happens? Well, if they're a good friend, they become basically a walking billboard for you. They start telling their friends, oh yeah, my brother or my sister or my friend is a designer and, they're looking for some work and maybe they could help you with your, business or whatever. So that's another good way too, is just literally tell everybody what you do. Make sure that you make that known. All right. So then the next thing you could do is you can enter competitions. So I never really did this and I'm not sure why. I think I was kind of busy for one, maybe lazy if I'm being honest, but there are a ton of design competitions. If you look online, you can do a Google search and find some. For me, I think that they're good practice, and maybe I was probably in your shoes where I knew I don't know what you're feeling like. I know a lot of my students don't feel like they're good enough, but you're good enough. But I also can relate to that. I didn't feel good enough. And so I didn't really apply because I felt like I didn't know what I was doing. So I would still say, even if you feel like you suck, you probably don't. Enter the competitions, try it, right? And then bonus point, I know I said 5, but 6 point here, we've got go to design events. So there's a lot of great design events. There's like Photoshop World, there's the How Design Conference, there's a handful of others. And if you, again, do a quick Google search, depending on what you're interested in, whether it's photography or Photoshop or branding or whatever, there's always a conference for that where you'll meet amazing people, maybe even find people you want to work with. You'll learn a ton. And those typically are more expensive because you've got anywhere from a couple $100 to a couple $1,000 to attend. Plus, if you're going to stay in a hotel, there's a couple $100 a night plus travel. So they get really expensive really quick. But if you've got an LLC set up or a business set up, it's a tax write-off, so you can do that as well. Or maybe, find another way to get there. Maybe get sponsored by family or get sponsored by your school. I know there's different, what's it called? I'm losing my mind, my words here. Oh my gosh. What's it called when they give you money to go to school? That thing. Oh my gosh, you guys. The point is, scholarship, is that what I'm looking for? Anyway, just talk to your school and maybe they've got money. That a lot of times they'll have funds to send you to extracurricular things. So go see if you're going to a school, if they've got money for you to go to one of these events. That's a good way to get your foot in the door there as well. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is the logo design case study. So I've been promising that I'm working on this logo design course, and I am. I've been working a lot on it and really trying to get it out to you. And I had an idea / a friend who needed something. So this is Dr. Greg here on the left. And what I wanted to show you in this case study is you don't always have to do something for money. And in this case, it's a friend who needed something. So it was an easy, low-hanging fruit. I didn't have to convince him that I was very good. It was just like, hey man, I can do that for you. And he was like, sure. And in return, he's letting me record the conversations and share it with you. So I'm giving him a good deal and he's helping me out. So it's really cool though. So I'm going through this case study for our logo design course. I'm going to be publishing it there as well. This first video is already live. I've recorded another one since then, a couple. I just got to edit them and put them up there. So be looking for that soon. But I'm really excited about this whole case study idea. So I've got a bunch of other clients and friends. I'm totally going to hit them up and try and do some more work for them so you guys can see behind the scenes how I work, how I think, how I interact with different clients who have different needs. So be sure you check that out in your member area. It's actually a different product. So if you go to your dashboard, I guess, where you log into my website, and then you'll see the logo design and freelancing course. It looks kind of like this. So I've got a bunch of stuff coming soon that I'm working on. I've got obviously the course introduction, but we're going to talk about working with the client. We're going to talk about the logo design process. Obviously the course wrap up where I give you next steps, but then I'm doing case studies and I already dropped that in there. So check out that new video. It's awesome. All right. So next we have announcements. So this first announcement I'm actually really excited about. You can see I've got a YouTube icon there. And that's because, guys, I'm a full-time YouTuber. I don't even know what that means, but I'm full-time now. No, what that really means, though, it's both exciting and terrifying. So basically, I quit my job, had a really cush full-time job as a creative director, and I loved it. And it was hard to quit because, like I said, it was comfortable and predictable, and we could pay our bills on time, and that was fun. But I've felt such a pull to be a better instructor for you. I have, at the time of this recording, almost 85,000 students, and that blows my mind. I can't even believe it. Super thankful for everybody who's given me support, especially you guys in this membership area, helping make that a reality. If I'm being 100% honest, I know you guys probably think that I'm killing it financially, and we're doing okay. But you also know that I've given a ton of these courses away. So if I'm being totally honest, not quite sure, after we burn through our savings in the next couple months, if I don't get my act together, how we're going to make ends meet, which is why I'm going to be freelancing as well a little bit, which will help kind of offset that. Plus it'll keep me fresh. I was a creative director for long enough that I felt like I wasn't doing the projects as much because I had a team I was directing. So instead of being the one actually making the stuff, I was telling other people what to do, which was fun. But then I realized my skills were getting a little soft, a little bit rough around the edges. So I'm really excited to be picking that up and be helping you guys out. I'm doing this full time now, so I'm available 24/7. Well, I'm not available 24/7, but this is what I'm doing. So I'm trying to really make a better effort to engage with you guys, make YouTube videos for just some simple stuff. I'm still trying to figure out the strategy. Like, I'm a designer. I'm not as far as marketing strategy to try and sell more courses. It's not what I'm about, but I do kind of have to care about that a little bit since now this is how I'm going to be, be my full-time job. So very excited about that, though. I love teaching, and I love helping you guys out. So please feel free to reach out when you have questions, especially those of you in the membership area, in the community, which actually leads me to, so this was just the announcement, whatever. I quit my job. No big deal. Whatever. The special announcement is we started a new Slack, what would you call it? Group. So for those of you who don't know what Slack is basically the industry standard for communicating with each other. So it's like instant messenger. You have an app you can have on your phone or on your computer, and you can basically text messages or send images back and forth, right? So I have no idea how this is going to go. It could fail epically, but I think it'll be cool. So I've got some different channels for feedback, for meet and greet, for random stuff, for resources. It's kind of like our community, but instead of like posting where, I don't know, it's going to be more immediate. It's more like a text message, right? So the community has been awesome, but kind of not. Like, I realized that there's not as much engagement, if I'm being honest, as I thought there would be in there. And I think it's difficult because it's buried and it's just one more place. People got Facebook, and you've got email, and now we've got a community, and we've got comments down below video. Like, there's just so many places to get lost. And, I still want to keep it alive. We still want to do stuff there. It's still there. I'll still be checking it and answering questions where I can. But my hope with turning on Slack, it does two things. One is it helps you learn how to use it, because if you're going to be moving into a design agency or working in-house somewhere, to have that it basically adds another skill set, right? Something for you to learn how to use. And then two, I feel like you're going to get more immediate feedback, and some of you will have a lot of fun with this. So I don't know exactly how we're going to roll it out. So stay tuned for more information, but hopefully we'll have this launched by the end of the week. All right. And then special announcement. My wife is pregnant. How cool is that? That's exciting and also terrifying because I quit my job and my wife is pregnant. So we're super excited, very, very excited. And another reason why I love what I do, because currently she's feeling a little sick, got some morning sickness, but I've been able to play with my kids, take them for bike rides, and do all that kind of fun daddy stuff. And it's been really cool time to be able to just be flexible with my schedule and spend time with them. And just, we're really, really excited about that. So stay tuned for more. Hopefully we find out what the gender is here, I think in a couple weeks now, coming up. So very excited about that special announcement. All right. So student questions. Now I'm not even convinced that this live broadcast is broadcasting live in a way that I have students actually watching this live. Bummer, but whatever. The replay will be just as equally awesome. and I'll answer questions there too. So if this is not live and you're watching a replay, post your questions below and we'll jump in and have all kinds of fun. Let's see. I probably want to go back to this view. Webcam. Ta-da. All right. So, yeah. Nobody can see anything. I can't see anything. I scheduled it wrong. Lame. Fail. Oh, well. Sorry, guys. I suck. You'll have to watch the replay. All right. Well, that's neat. Okay. So there's no questions right now. Let me see. Bummer. Lame. Okay. I don't even know how to fix it. You know how I'm going to fix it? I'm going to go live all the time. That's what we're going to do. Like, no more of this 1 a month stuff. I'm just going to go live all the time. You guys will be bored and tired of seeing me, but I'm going to get good. I'm going to do my reps like I'm asking you to do. So since we don't really have student questions right now, let's go ahead and wrap this up. I had a fancy quote, but whatever. It was just discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. So, fine. I'll put it up so you can see it. And what I'm trying to share with you here with this. Okay. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. So the way that I relate this to me, when I was in the peak of my comfort as a creative director. That's the one. I got progressively more comfortable. By that, I mean my bills were paid, had enough money to do what I wanted. Everybody loved me at work, could do whatever I wanted there. So I started waking up later and later. Pretty soon I'd roll in the office around 9:00 in the morning. I used to go to the gym almost every day. Now I was kind of like, you know what? I just got really complacent. And looking back, I think part of it was I was starting to get a little unhappy because I really wanted to teach full time, and I felt really pulled between teaching and having my job. And so there's a little bit of that, I think, if I'm being super honest and transparent with you guys. And so fast forward to me quitting my job and doing this full time, I have to be disciplined. But more than that, like, I love this. So for the last, 3 or 4 weeks, I've been waking up at 5 a.m., 6 at the latest. Get up, get ready. Usually I've been so there's, because I'm working from home now, my kids, I love that my kids can come down and say hi and whatever when I'm in the office. But sometimes there's stuff I want to get done and make sure I get at least my couple hours of work done first. And so what I've been doing is leaving the house at like 5:30 or 5:45 in the morning and going to either like Starbucks or Panera, or there's a couple local coffee shops that all open at 6 in the morning, and then working until about 9:00 in the morning. Then I'll come home, take a break, maybe ride bikes with my kids. So it's been an awesome lifestyle change. I feel like I'm getting a lot more done, but more importantly, that's the discipline, right? So my goal is to, I don't have it summed up yet, but I really want to lean into teaching and doing a better job with the membership and with my Udemy courses and the new stuff I've got making and answering questions. There's just a lot to do. And I want to do it well with success. So part of that discipline for me was just being up early and just getting to it and not making excuses. I mean, it's Saturday morning and I'm recording and going live for you guys, right? So it's part of that discipline in my life is getting it done. So I encourage you guys to do the same this week, to get out there, to find a way to be disciplined, to learn more, whether that's going and asking for your internship or going and asking a friend if you can do work for them. Whatever it is this week, I really encourage you to find ways to just level up your game just a little bit, right? I'm not asking you to be perfect or to know or to have it all figured out. I'm just saying to consciously try and do just a little bit better, right? Whether that's waking up earlier or maybe spending a little bit less time on social media or whatever, but you have such a massive opportunity in front of you right now to become a graphic designer and to do these things. So, but you're not going to get there by watching TV and delaying, right? You got to study, you got to practice. You got to do the work. So I hope that encourages somebody. I hope you guys learned a lot. And I'm going to go ahead and shut this down so I can email you all and say, hey, here's the replay because I did it wrong. So anyway, guys, have an awesome weekend. Have an awesome week. I'll be in touch with all these new things coming out. So watch your email addresses and we'll stay in touch and we'll see you all soon. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.